Alright, so I was perusing the internet and I found this post from, well, the New York Post. Man who lived in Paris airport for 18 years inspired Steven Spielberg movie dies. So, first off, is that actually how he lived? On a red bench like that, surrounded by all the stuff? I mean, that stuff looks like junk to me, but maybe not to him. But that looks like he's in the middle of the airport, with the airport shops in the back and some tourists walking by. Alright, back to the article. I'm not gonna get the name wrong, so I'll just wing it. Merhan Camry Nassir slept on a red bench in Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport for 18 years. An Iranian man who lived for 18 years in said airport and whose saga loosely inspired Steven Spielberg film The Terminal died Saturday in the airport that he long called home, officials said. Merhan Kamer Nassine dead after a heart attack in the airport's Terminal 2F around midday, according to an official with Paris Airport Authority. Nassir lived in the airport Terminal 1 from 1988 until 2006, first in legal limbo because he lacked residency papers, and later by apparent choice. Alright. Year in and out, he slept on a red bench, making friends with airport workers, showering in staff facilities, writing in his diary, reading magazines, and surveying passing travelers. The staff nicknamed him Lord Alfred. So you know what? I'll just use the name Alfred. And he became a mini celebrity among passengers. Eventually, I will leave the airport, he told the Associated Press in '99, smoking a pipe on his bench, looking frail with long, thin hair, sunken eyes, and hollow cheeks, but I'm still waiting for a passport or transit visa. Alfred was born in 1945 in Solomon, a part of Iran that under British jurisdiction, to an Iranian father and a British mother. He left Iran to study in England. When he returned, he said he was imprisoned for protesting against the Shah and expelled without a passport. He applied for political asylum in several countries in Europe. The UNHCR in Belgium gave him refugee credentials, but he said his briefcase containing the refugee credentials was stolen in Paris. Police later arrested him, but couldn't deport him anywhere because he had no official documents. He ended up at Charles de Gaulle Airport in August '88 and stayed. Bureaucratic bungling and increasingly strict European immigration laws kept him in illegal no man's land for years. When he finally received refugee papers, he described his surprise and his insecurity about leaving the airport. Well, yeah, I'd imagine the cost of living at the airport like that would be really low. When he finally received his refugee papers, he described his surprise and his insecurity about leaving the airport. He reportedly refused to sign them and ended up staying there for several more years until he was hospitalized in 2006 and later lived in a Paris shelter. So, when he refused to sign them, the officials should have said, hey, look, if you don't sign these papers, we're going to put you in a shelter because you have your papers, you can't stay here. And even people he befriended talk about how living in the windowless space took a toll on his mental state. Oh, gee, someone who's not mentally stable living in an airport with hundreds of thousands of people coming and going. That doesn't sound like a good idea. The airport doctor in the '90s worried about his physical and mental health and described him as a fossil here. A ticket agent friend compared him to a prisoner, incapable of living on the outside. So I'm going to say it. Those he befriended. So these people, they say they care about him and they're worried about him, right? Why didn't they let him stay with them? Alright, so two scenarios. One, he doesn't have his refugee papers. Okay, couldn't they go to the officials and say, hey, we'll vouch for him? Can he stay with us so he can get used to living on the outside world? I'm pretty sure the bureaucrats would be eager to get him out of the airport. Second, when he had his refugee papers, they could have said, hey, We know you're insecure about living in the outside world, but hey, we're your friends. You can come live with us. Anyway, I just saw this article, thought it was interesting. Um, the movie character is nothing like the actual person, though. Alright, take care.